IMHO Talk Show.
Wait. You're listening to In My Humble Opinion, only on 101.3 Jams.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. You got Charles.
Raise up.
That's right, in the booth, in the building, back like we never left. As we said, if you live and direct with us right about now, we are kicking off June Black Music Month in the place to be. And so that's why we want to shout out some of our people that's doing it up right now. That wanted to get you a little more familiar with. Of course, you got the family that was with us. Tage been on here many a times.
She's always a good interview.
That's right. Very, it's a very diverse interview, because she's able to talk outside of just the music, So love it. And then another that the name is familiar, and so having her on the show with us right about now is definitely a pleasure for the folks to get to know her better, because she's been burning the Charlottesville streets up recently. DJ Swirlout, can you hear her, Swirl Out?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Am I
Hey, you ain't driving, are you? We're gonna need you to be safe. We won't get nobody in trouble.
No,
Are we good? Okay.
I am stationary.
Hey, I saw both hands go up. I'm like, oh, hold on now. You got,
driving with a knee.
Yeah, you got too much dip on your tip now. Look, what you doing?
Welcome to the show.
Yes, indeed. Yeah, welcome. So DJ Swirl. Yes, indeed. So you as I said, I want you to give the folks a little of your background because like we celebrating this Black Music Month, and you aren't new to Charlottesville anymore, but I'm sure there's still a lot of folks that aren't familiar with you, because even when I was talking about who's going to be on the show, I even got a comment saying, "Oh, it's a female DJ." I thought it was a guy. No, and it's only like a couple of female DJs, right? And of course, do it just as good as any. But being a male dominated field, and you in high demand right now for Charlottesville, I want to give you your props and shout you out. So congrats on all your success.
I appreciate that. I do.
Yes, indeed.
You said give a little bit of background about myself.
Yeah. Because you started at an age a lot of people are going to find hard to believe. So definitely share your origin story in this music biz with the folks.
Yes. Okay. So I started at 9. My dad was a DJ, but at the time I never really got to see him spin on like ones and twos. It was more so like he had a CDJ, and he was just going to these different places, setting up equipment and playing music that way. Mm-hmm. So like the new day and age of like controllers and laptops and stuff like that, we weren't really into that just yet. So I kind of just was shadowing him and seeing, what is he doing? You know what I'm saying? But the whole family is musically inclined. Like we all sing. I don't really sing like that, but I can sing. Play drums, bass guitar. Used to play bass guitar. Play by ear a little bit with the keyboard and stuff like that. But I think what made the most sense for me was DJing, because it's like no matter what kind of music you're playing, based off of your crowd, like you can bring people together. And I seen a lady said that, I think it's Dijon Mustard. She said that when it comes to music, like and being a DJ, politics can't bring people together. And it was something else she said that really can't bring people together, but music. Mm-hmm. And it was so true. I seen that at UVA. It was like over 1,000 kids at the Fried Franks event. And I got on that stage, and I'm gonna tell you what, my nerves were, it was all over the place. I'm like, oh my gosh, you got rich folk in here, you got people in here that actually had to work hard to make it. Mm-hmm. Like, because you got the Black Student Association. Shout out to BSA. Yes, you only had that corner of Black law students. I'm like, oh my gosh. And they the ones that hired me for the event. So I'm like, okay, I'm gonna pull this off. And Lord and behold, it worked. And an Indian girl came up to me. She said, "Do you know what you're doing?" I said, "What?" She said, "You bringing a whole room of people that you would never see hanging out with each other, yet alone looking in that direction of each other together.
Mm-hmm.
And it just feels great. So like what I tell people is, with my background and everything, it's not just a musical background. Like for me as a person, I am super big on just morale. I'm super big on just bringing people together and really, I just want to see the world as a better place, but in my own form and fashion. You know,
feel you.
more than just DJing.
Yeah, so you spin all styles?
I spin everything.
Okay.
I'm open format. I've done a Bollywood wedding before in North Carolina. I mean, it's different. Like, music is frequency. I don't even have to know what a song is saying per se. It depends. But I can feel the frequency of music to know like this is what feels good.
Right.
Yeah, but I'm open format.
So where are you from, Swirlout? Because I'm from Green, and I know my country twang come out a little bit. But girl, you sound country.
So I'm from Lynchburg. I'm from Lynchburg, Virginia, born and raised. Yes.
Okay.
Max
got some good friends from there.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Good people here. Definitely starting to see different changes with the school and all with Liberty University, but shout out to whoever comes here to go study, because it takes dedication. But yeah, Lynchburg, Virginia, we representing,
For sure. So now I'm sure that being that this is an industry that you're in, again, it's dominated how it's dominated. You're talking about like a lot of late nights. You're talking about like a lot of late travel, all this kind of stuff. Things that even me as a father, right? Like I may be a little reluctant, to have, like my teenager, right? Like being out in some of these places. But I'm sure you are an inspiration, and I'm sure that you probably already are and will be a mentor, to some who want to follow in your footsteps, right? But tell us more about that journey, though, because I gotta imagine you first like knowing that you have this gift at 9 is one thing, but then you being a girl, a little girl, and then trying to gain your traction, people take you serious, right? Like, tell us about some of those hurdles and like how you overcame.
I'm gonna be honest, it was tough, and it's still kind of tough sometimes, but with my father using some of his connections and kind of connecting with the kids through like just starting at the basics, with the kids with church and stuff like that, or like my own elementary school dances and stuff like that, just starting off small in that arena, and then getting into house parties. And at house parties that was in my teens, it was really hard trying to get my father to say, okay, you can do this and you can do that. But he knew I was trying to build something and for the long run, not just for the short term. And as a female, it is quite strange how like sometimes like when you're out in the nightlife, you see so many different things and people they'll try to test you, or even like, hey, here's something to drink. Like you gotta have like boundaries, and you have to know, okay, this is a business. I'm here to have fun, but I have to have my business hat on. I have to have that mindset. And you have some men try you too, as far as like other people in music and stuff like that. They're like, oh, she a female, she DJing, okay. It's more the aesthetic. No, like when I came in the game, it was more so about skill. And knowing my music at the end of the day. So like that's sometimes, you may have some people that may come into the game thinking, oh, I'm like women, okay, my looks or this and the third, and then they start to realize like, okay, I need to know something. So learning how my dad kind of worked in business, I kind of took those tidbits because he 85% of communication is nonverbal. So like, even though he wasn't telling me, I was watching, I was observing, and I would take notes and say, okay, I'm gonna make sure that I carry business this way. I make sure I do contracts. I make sure that I do consultations. We, even if we just talk twice for 30 minutes to an hour, I have to sit there and say, hey, listen, you tell me how you want your event to go. This is your Spotify playlist. If you want to have a Spotify playlist, tell me what the vibe is. Because if somebody say, okay, hip hop, R&B, which this is another tough subject, you'll be like, okay, hip hop, R&B. I'll do my own thing in hip hop and R&B. But then when you get started, they're like, oh, that's not really what I wanted. Well, you got to be specific. So it's just little tidbits like that, and making sure that, and I actually teach at a Boys and Girls Club, or I'll go to like the high schools and stuff. And I'll tell people, you can make DJing a career. Absolutely. And a lot of times growing up, people be like, you're tripping, because this is music. I mean, you're just doing it for fun. But people don't realize, like, even if you go to school or, get your education and stuff like that, which you can still do. I went to Full Sail University, study for audio engineering, and I also went for marketing and communications, and I graduated. Nice. I just wanted to add that, I just wanted to add that little bit of tidbit to not just me being a DJ, you know what I'm saying? Just as a person in general. And DJing can turn into audio engineering. I tell the kids, like, this is what you need to get started. Don't let nobody tell you otherwise. And it's crazy because the females in those classes, they're the main ones that are reluctant. But I tell them, like,
why do you think that is?
I think it's because two things. I don't believe that the ladies feel like they can do it sometimes. Because their parents may like have other expectations for them.
Okay.
And I always tell them, like, it's about what you want to do and what you believe, and you can make it happen on your own. Even just me coming, I'll give away like DJ controllers. I'm like, listen, all you need is a controller. You got places like Mexicali that have their own sound system. And I'll just try to give that little tidbit, like, here you go. And it only takes but one person to believe in a young girl or a young woman. I know my dad believed in me, so I know how that felt.
Yeah.
Same with, like, I think the second thing would be, they know it's hard work. So it's not just, oh, I'm coming to DJ. No, you got to unpack all your equipment. You got to pack your equipment. You got to set up. You got to do these different things. And they know it's going to take dedication. That's another thing.
Yeah. Thank you for that. Hey, so we have a question that came in too.
Okay.
Have you ever had a party or crowd that you seemed to couldn't please, and what was that like to work through, and why was that?
It's very, very slim on that. I'd say there was. Yeah, that's good. That's good. I had one incident. I was at, and it wasn't necessarily about the music, but I was at Lexington Law School. I think it was Lexington and Washington and Lee. Yeah, that's it.
Washington Lee.
So
you can stop right there.
It's in Lexington.
I'm gonna be honest. They ended up not having the stage and the outlets needed for all the equipment that I brought. So I would get started, bam, 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 and the circuit would break. So I'm like, oh my gosh. And it happened a few times, and then finally somebody in the crowd said, "Party at my house." and everybody just started walking away, and that was like the worst feeling I've ever had. After that, I was like, no more losses. So I upped my game with the equipment, because those were like passive speakers. If anybody doesn't know, passive or non-powered speakers, so it takes a amp to run those, and a mixer. So yeah, that's why I was like, okay, I'm going to powered speakers. I'm gonna make sure that I got everything powered, and it takes a lot less like power and stuff like that. But after that, they didn't pay me the rest of what they pay or whatever. I said, you know what, it's fine. I take that as a loss. But it was definitely a learning experience, though, for sure.
I have a question for you. You and Charles were talking about how male dominated your craft is. Where is the line to where a female is allowed to look pretty, but not so much that it will take over what she's capable of doing? Because men don't really have that. We don't have to worry about that. You either look good or you don't, or you know what I'm saying? But with women, I don't feel like you're allowed to look as well as you could look, because then they'll focus on that as opposed to your craft.
Good point.
Right. I'm gonna be honest. The line is determined by the DJ herself. So for me, I choose to not dress too promiscuous and to just dress well, and really have that style, but at the same time, there's lines with me. Like, I don't show up looking like I'm about to go to the strip club or something like that. Now, some women can pull it off and say, hey, look, I'm gonna wear what I want to wear. I don't care about nothing y'all gotta say. And she's still loved and respected in a certain, you know what I'm saying? It's just based off of your crowd too, and like who you're surrounded around. I know the people that I'm surrounded around in Charlottesville, they won't even mind, because they know she's like that when it comes to ones and twos. Right. But I still don't choose to cross that line.
Gotcha. We are talking. Yeah. We are talking to DJ Swirlout. Definitely a place to be. So Swirlout, you for the folks that don't know as well, because like you said, you are a business. Like you got it together. So like the website and the mixes and all that stuff for folks to check you out and get more information on you and whatnot. Make sure that they know the handles to reach you and find you.
Yes. You can go to my website. It's djswirlout.com. I'm also on IG. It's ITS DJ Swirlout. And I'm also on Facebook as my regular name. And I also have my Facebook page, DJ Swirlout or Tanasia Garland. TENAEJA, and Garland like the tree. And I did it that way because I want for people to know my name as well. I don't want for people to just know my DJ name, because at the end of the day, DJing is what I do, but it's not who I am. Right.
That's big. I'm glad you said that, because I was riding the fence. I was like, should I call her Tanasia or just keep calling her Swirlout? Yeah.
No, look, I love both.
That's what's up. And for the folks that don't know too, what event that you're gonna be in Charlottesville doing June 7th? Because we've been running promo for the event. So next Saturday night, June 7th, you're gonna be the DJ here in Charlottesville, right? For a celebration.
Yes, I have the Chihamba celebration coming up. That's gonna be at the Belvedere. And during that day, I'll be at Mexicali. We'll be doing a hip hop versus reggae. But the Chihamba event, I really encourage people to come. This is in celebration of our Black history. At the end of the day, we're gonna have vendors and different people like that, but this is a celebration of us. I'd highly suggest that people come. It's not always about a turn up. Sometimes we have to, step outside of the realm of what we want to do and kind of go down that lane of like, hey, I'm paying homage. Like, this is respect for us. And for us to kind of dive into our culture, because I feel like it's not enough of that right now, or it's kind of like, way to the side, you know what I'm saying? So with Chihamba, that's what we're going to do. We're going to have a good time. I'm going to be playing great music. We're going to have great food. And yeah, supporting other Black businesses, and yeah, that's what it's about.
That's what's up. That's what's up. And so what else you got? What else you got on your plate? So if you start at 9 and you, I mean, like, do you feel like that you even hit your prime yet? Like, let us know what's on the goals list. Swirlout.
I'm gonna be honest. I feel like I'm in that bag right now, but I'm not in my prime. I have so many highs, and then you go through, like, it's just kind of like any other business. You go through your highs, you go through your lows. I'm in my highs right now, and I don't feel like I'm coming down. But my goals list, I'm actually trying to create a women's DJ coalition, so that way. Yeah, and I want to pass down contracts to other women, even if they don't know how to DJ. I want to start a coalition just so that women can come learn how to DJ. We'll do courses every week, and they can just learn different techniques. If they need equipment for their event and they're in Virginia, they have access to the equipment. I just invested more money into equipment. And yeah, providing them with all the tools that they need to get started, and passing them the contracts as well, because that's the hard thing. If you don't have the connections, sometimes people don't know where to begin. But yeah, I'll be helping them set up like Google pages and stuff like that. But aside from that,
that's dope.
Yeah. And one of my biggest goals too is to turn into an audio production company. So I would like to turn into an audio production company, so that way I can just come to different events, set up for different bands and different groups and stuff like that, and kind of just do the audio engineering behind closed doors at those events and running the audio. So miking up everybody's drums and different instruments and stuff like that. And then a long-term goal for me is to get more on the mentor side and inspirational side. I met an amazing person. I don't know if y'all know him. Y'all should. His name is Mr. Alexander.
Absolutely.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Mr. Alexander.
Yes. So just meeting him, he set me up, because I had told him a quote. And see, I met him at Milk and Honey, and I DJ there too. But
you everywhere.
I'm everywhere. Yeah, I'm trying. Look, I'm not gonna say I'm trying. I'm doing, but I'm trying to expand a little bit more. Yeah, I met him.
Lynchburg getting jealous yet, though?
What'd you say? I'm
sorry to interject, but is Lynchburg getting jealous? They saying you spending too much time with us up here?
No, sometimes it goes like this. You gotta step outside of your hometown sometimes in order for them to kind of love you a little bit more. I'm not saying they don't love me, but yeah. But Mr. Alexander, basically, I told him, he said, you got this way about you. I could tell when you first got out the car and you taking all this equipment out that you were about business. And he said, you got this glow. And I said, it's not what's on you, it's what's in you. And he was like, I've never heard of that. And I was like, what? This is saying, I've heard it all my life. And then he came back to me. He said, I kind of tweaked it a little bit. I want you to add this to your forte. And I said, what's that? He said, it's not what's on you or around you, but it's what's in you. And I really loved that. Just because, like, in these quotes that we kind of bounce back and forth with each other, and the resources and tools, especially, with his character that y'all have there in the studio.
Hey, Charles, I can hear him
right now. We're in a time. What'd you say?
I said I can hear him now. You got the GYTM to get this glow.
Oh, yeah.
That's my man.
Yes, man. But the purpose of all of this is because we know we're in a time where it's so much going on around or within the schools, and with youth are our future. And children and teens, they be on the brink. I mean, they go through a lot more than I feel like what we've been through. So to actually pour into them and pour into our future is setting us up for success for the future. But I like so many people, like I got it on the back of my phone. Yes, you matter. Some kids don't even know that they matter. And sometimes they may be going through stuff at home that they be coming to school, like they don't even want to learn. They don't want to do nothing, but it's not necessarily on them. It's because of their environment and what they're around. So we really have to kind of like pour back into our youth instead of just saying, oh, they acting crazy. I mean, what is going on? You know what I mean? So that's the first step before I can even say, hey, you can DJ. They like, oh, lady, I gotta go home. I gotta go back to the hood. They about to be shooting around the corner at 10 o'clock at night. I really have to learn like how to not stoop down, but step onto that perspective with our teens and with our youth of wherever they are in life, and just start from there. And then we can talk about DJing.
Big facts.
Yeah, I love that. Love your story. Thank you for what you do. But, I'll tell you, a big takeaway from this interview has been you talking about, just really reaching back and being an example to women, being an example to young girls and reaching back. There's so many professions, jobs that we could point to and say it's a male job. It's a male dominated job, whether it be black male or white males. And the part you said about females drawing their own boundaries, deciding their own lines, is so true when it comes to all of those different things. And so I thank you for making sure that other women understand that, and especially our young girls understand that. Because society would tell them different if they don't, hear it from people like you or myself.
And you sound bigger than music too. To Mrs. Mack's point, like, because I noticed your goals were sort of audio and music connected. Like, but you got some dreams outside of music. I don't know, Tanasia. Like you sound like you a borderline Southern Baptist up in here.
I'm not gonna lie. I got some real estate that I'm working on right now. I got a plot of land out in Franklin County, and I want to start a tiny home village. And then I got another property here in Lynchburg that I'm working on downtown. Downtown, we've seen a lot of gentrification, but at the same time, I look at gentrification sometimes as just expansion for us, because we're able to kind of get in on that as well. So just taking advantage of like different programs and stuff here in Lynchburg. So yeah, I'm trying to get that property going here in Lynchburg for a lot of traveling nurses. And other than that, I'm about to get into the Turo business. So I'm going to have a fleet of luxury vehicles. I got one on the way, and basically just going to be renting those out. And other than that, my main goal, what you say?
Say for DJ?
Yes, it's so much. Listen, I got two event series I'm about to do. One is like a speed dating event series, and then I also got a loft. It's called the Loft Experience. We basically bring in the club or the party to the loft type settings, and kind of just doing it with silent disco. But the main purpose is to highlight DJs and like their craft and technique. Dancing is highly encouraged, and I just told the DJs, look, it's free reign for you. A lot of times when we're in these club settings and these parties, people are wanting to hear the hottest hits and stuff like that, but it's so much more. So just trying to create a safe space for people to dance and for the DJs to really do their thing how they want to. And we're gonna put it on Roku channel, so it's pretty fun.
Nice.
That's just a little bit.
Doing what
She
you
said
love.
a little bit. She says a little bit.
Yeah.
Just a little bit, because I'm a mother of two, a 1-year-old and a 2-year-old. And when I'm not doing all of these things, I'm instilling a lot into them. My 1-year-old and my 2-year-old, they know how to sing their ABCs, please and thank you, wiping up messes. It's the little things though, because when they get older, like life insurance policies, like all of that, I just am thinking ahead and always thinking of the future. So I got a piece of the future of my own. I'm just gonna do what I need to do to, help them grow into beautiful boys.
That's what's up.
That is what's up. And that class you're talking about too, what keep us posted, whenever you're ready to share that and the info for that, we got you. Because that sounds huge.
I will. Yes. And I'll be taking applications. Look, you know how they got Streamer University right now? I'm like, shoot, let's make this a big thing and kind of I'm gonna have the ebooks and stuff available so that if people can't join, they'll still be able to start on their own. But I'm not denying nobody right now, but we just gonna see how it go. I'll definitely keep y'all posted.
Yeah. And we'll have to talk online about that too, because I'm sure there's groups that would love to have you, right? Like you mentioned Boys and Girls Club earlier, like the Wise and different spots. I'm sure like would love to have that, love to contract that type of service. So yeah. Yes, let's chat. Yeah.
Most
keep dreaming, Swirlout. Keep dreaming.
Yes, indeed. So one more time before we let you go, make sure the folks know how to reach you.
Yes, you can reach me on djswirlout.com. You can also reach me on IG, ITS DJ Swirlout. Also on Facebook, DJ Swirlout, and Tanasia Taylor or Garland, TENAEJA, and Garland like the tree.
Awesome. Good stuff. Well, continue success, and we look forward to chatting with you again soon.
All right. Thank you. Look, y'all have a good one.
Hey, you too.
Be safe.
Peace.